Hello and welcome to the Album Man, and today I'm going to be carrying on in my top 50 bands of all time, and I'm going to be doing from 40 to 31. So sorry this episode has been a long time in the making. The last one was the 13th of May or something like that. I just have really not had much time since then. So yeah, but anyway, so I'm going to be doing it now. So, at number 40, we have the punk legends, the Sex Pistols. So as you can see, a couple of Sex Pistols albums I have, Jubilee, which is a sort of compilation thing, and Flogging a Dead Horse, which is a compilation on vinyl. And yeah, the Sex Pistols, they're such a great punk band. They just have such an energy, and they really are the definition of punk. Songs like God Save the Queen, Anarchy in the UK, Pretty Vacant, and then they have the sillier songs like Friggin' and the Wiggin', and the Great Rock and Roll Swindle. But they're just a really great, strong band. I just like the Sex Pistols a lot. I think they just have that energy, rawness, and they really are the definition of good punk. I found that punk's definition has been really diluted so much. Things like Blink-182 and Green Day are considered punk. As much as I like a band like Green Day, they are not punk, definitely. These are punk. If you want punk, check out the Sex Pistols, but I'm sure everyone already knows them anyway. And then we get to a Britpop band. Yep, that is correct. My 39th favourite band of all time is Oasis. And this is my favourite of their albums, What's the Story in Morning Glory. And I just love Oasis. I love Noel Gallagher's guitar playing, even though, yes, he isn't that great a guitarist, and he, can't read music, and he's, plays pretty basic stuff. I just think the chord changes and just the songwriting in Oasis, I think is absolute genius. I think it has a simplistic nature to it, but it's just so catchy and so good. I really love Oasis. Songs like From Here, like Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger, Roll With It. Such great songs, Champagne Supernova. They have so many great songs in their catalogue, and I absolutely love them. They've been certainly very influential on my guitar playing personally. I love the sound they have, and yeah, I think they're a really great band, and there's nothing you can say negative about them, really. Even if they do fall under Britpop. Anyway, so at number 38, we have the Foo Fighters, which of course is Dave Grohl on vocals, who of course was the Nirvana drummer. And yeah, Nirvana is a great band, but Foo Fighters, really strong band. This is the Greatest Hits, which has, it also has a DVD with all the music videos on, which is really nice. And my favourite Foo Fighters album is Echo, Silence, Patience, Grace. Fantastic album, very underrated Foo Fighters album. Very underrated, even though it has The Pretender, Long Road to Ruin, Home, A Razor Place, but honestly, such a strong album. But it's never considered one of their best, because it's a lighter, more acoustic album, and that's personally why I think the Foo Fighters shine. I personally did not like Wasting Light that much. I didn't think it was that good. I thought, except for Arlandria, there's no real good songs on it, especially White Limo. I think that is the worst song they've ever done. But they've done so many classic songs in their career so far. All My Life, Learn to Fly, The Pretender, as I said, Monkey Wench, just My Hero, so many great songs, and they really are a great band, and I certainly hope they return to the style of Echo, Silence, Patience, Grace, as I think that is definitely their opus. Right, then we get to number 37, and at 37 we have the band Stayed, and as you can see here I'm holding up the Illusion of Progress, which fans voted to be the worst album Stayed have ever released. And I couldn't disagree more. This is the album. I discovered Stayed because I was going to see a Nickelback concert, and the support band for them was Stayed. So I gave them a you know, a little check out on MySpace or whatever. Really liked them songs, I Believe and It's Been a While. Went to see them as a support band. So good, so good. So I bought the album and I went to see them in their own right with Siva supporting them, who you definitely see later in this list. I love Siva. And yeah, this is the album I discovered them on. And I think songs like The Way I Am, Believe, Pardon Me, and It's Been a While isn't actually on this album, but it is a bonus track on it. It's Been a While is actually from this album, Break the Cycle, which appears to be considered their best album. And I think this is a good album. It's a great album. You know, I love Stayed, but I just think there's something they can't match about this. And of course, they released their self-titled album Stayed, which I really want to review soon, last year. And that certainly went to the heavier approach after, you know, the criticism from the acoustic, lighter approach. But I just thought that's where they shine, because Aaron Lewis, the lead singer, has such a strong voice, and it really shone through stuff like this. Then we get to, this is a little known artist that I think probably most, if not all of you, won't have heard of or know. Seriously worth checking out though. At number 36 I have Philip Sayce. So I'm sure most of you won't know who he is. He's really a small artist. I discovered him through, he was just appearing on a song on Classic Rock. If you buy the magazine, they give out every week CDs with some tracks on it, and he just happened to be one. It was the track Scars from this album, and it was just so good. So I checked him out on MySpace and stuff, and really liked stuff. Changes, Bitter Monday, My Pal, you know, such good songs. So as you can see here, I have a signed copy, even addressed to me. If you didn't know, my name is David, so it says to David. And yeah, I mean, I went to see him a couple of years ago on this tour. Absolutely phenomenal live, even though he's only playing a really small venue, literally about 50 people in the whole thing seeing him. And he did a signing afterwards. Really nice guy. I had a nice conversation with him. He really is a very genuine person, and he just makes such great bluesy, sort of funk music. Especially his last album, Steamroller, that certainly has a lot of Hendrix tones to it. He's a sort of a bluesy, in that sort of Hendrix way, that sort of not quite B.B. King blues, that sort of funkier blues. Phenomenal guitarist, great singer, writes wonderful songs. Really do check him out. You can't describe anyone. Just do check him out on MySpace, YouTube, whatever. Phenomenal artist from Wales, but he sort of really is Canadian. Toured with Jeff Healey, who is probably someone more of you are likely to know than Philip Sayce. And then at number 35 we have an artist that, well, they get a lot of flack from the, you know, proper music fans. And this band is good old My Chemical Romance. And it's one of those bands I just can't help but like. I think this album, The Black Parade, is absolutely phenomenal. Songs like Dead, The Black Parade, This Is How I Disappear, Mama, House of Wolves, Teenage, it's just full of cracking tracks on it. Phenomenal album. I've said at the last album, Danger Days, I've done a review of that, one of my first reviews I think. Absolute piece of crap this is. This is a pop album, simple as, I don't care what anyone says, this is a pop album, and it's, or even a dance album. I would possibly call it a dance album. It's an absolute load of crap. Do not listen to this. Avoid it like the plague. Really do. But this album, absolutely phenomenal. Really is. Just has such great catchy choruses, and it is a fairly heavyish album. Not as heavy as the earlier stuff, like I Bought You Bullets and 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. It's sort of, they've got that balance between commercialness and heavy warness, just perfect on this album. Unlike here where they go all out commercial, it sucks. But yeah, check out this album. I know not, there's, obviously they have a massive fan base, but, metal fans and stuff don't tend to appreciate them, certainly, classic metal fans like myself, but they were one of the first bands I really got into massively, and I've just always liked them. Right, so then at number 34, we have the King of the Blues, and he truly is the King of the Blues, and anyone who wishes to dispute me, just don't even bother. Because this is the legendary B.B. King, and this is his most famous album, Live at the Weagle Hall. I think it is. Well, yeah, Live at the Weagle. Absolutely phenomenal. Just one of the most influential people in music, I would say, ever. He revolutionized the blues. He revolutionized music. He's the guitar techniques he brought from. He started in 1939. This album was recorded in the 60s, I think 1964, and he started in 1939, and he just revolutionized the guitar. He also helped introduce many wonderful artists. He was the starting point for Joe Bonamassa, who has got to #2 in the UK charts and high in the American Billboard charts. He really gave Joe Bonamassa his break. He helped Hendrix get his break. This guy's been around forever and he's a true, absolute legend. I love him dearly and was lucky enough last year to go and see him live. He's about 86 now and still so good, even though he only did play 45 minutes, which was a bit disappointing. But yeah, this album, absolute classic. If you're a blues fan of any type and you don't own this album, you really should get it. It's phenomenal blues, and it really is blues at its best. Oh, this video is going on quite long. But anyway, number 33, another band that many of you may not know. It's a supergroup called Black Country Communion, and it consists of the legendary Glenn Hughes on vocals. It has the phenomenal Joe Bonamassa on guitar, who I believe is the greatest guitarist of all time. Very controversial thing, but that's just my opinion. And it has Derek Sherinian of Dream Theater, well, he used to be in Dream Theater, on keyboards. It has, let me think, oh yeah, Glenn Hughes is also playing bass as well as vocals. And it has Jason Bonham, the son of John Bonham, on drums. And this Black Country Communion 1, they've released 2 albums so far, and the third one should be released later this year. And this is their best one, but both of them such good albums. They have that sort of Zeppelin-y black country sound, they're appropriately named. And, things like One Last Soul, The Great Divide, Song of Yesterday. Song of Yesterday, 8-minute epic, features some of Joe Bonamassa's best guitar playing, phenomenal solo, and he plays it in his live solo sets. I saw him play it when I went to see him a few months back. Absolutely phenomenal album. Song of Yesterday, if you don't know this band, check out Song of Yesterday or The Great Divide. They're the 2 best tracks. Yeah, it's such a great supergroup. One of my favourite supergroups, if not my favourite. I can't quite remember if I have any other supergroups in this list. But yeah, absolutely love this band. Then at number 32, we have the legendary Van Halen. This is my favourite of the albums, 1984, which I have on vinyl and CD, which is quite cool. And yeah, I love Van Halen. And I suppose this list includes Sammy Hagar Van Halen, but I'm not a big Hagar fan. Yeah, I think he has some, great songs for Van Halen, but I'm a David Lee Roth fan. I thought A Different Kind of Truth was a great album. I think 1984 is just phenomenal. With songs like Jump, Panama, Hot for Teacher, just such a strong album. And yeah, I love David Lee Roth's voice. I think he's got a wonderful voice, and I'm just a massive David Lee Roth fan. I even have his solo albums. Yeah, this is, I think everyone knows Van Halen and knows this album. Such a great band. Isn't much else to say. Now, at number 31, we have the first of what I call the naughty listings. And they're naughty in the way that I sort of lump some things together just because they have a common theme. So this alone isn't really an artist, but they all have a common thing in them. And that is and it's not like, common thing like music, obviously. It's not I'm going to have just, 31 thrash metal, no. It's a person, it tends to be. And this is the Neal Morse category. And this covers quite a few different things. It of course covers Neal Morse's solo stuff. It covers the wonderful supergroup Transatlantic, consisting of Neal Morse on keyboards and vocals, Mike Portnoy on drums, on bass, a guy who was in Marillion, and on guitar a guy who's in the Flower Kings. I just can't remember their names. But yeah, Transatlantic, such a great band. And Spock's Beard, which is Neal Morse's, really the band that he came from on vocals and keyboards. And one of my favourite albums of this year, Flying Colours, the band Flying Colours, consisting of Neal Morse on keyboards, Casey McPherson on vocals, Mike Portnoy on drums, and who's on bass? Dave LeWou on bass. Oh, and Steve Morse on guitar, of course. So yeah, I am going to lump these all together because they are all Neal Morse albums. It's one of those, Flying Colours, they only have one album, they couldn't get in on their own. Again, I know some stuff from Neal Morse's solo stuff, but not enough for him to get a category. Same with Transatlantic, and same with Spock's Beard. It's I know I've got a lot of stuff to listen to of Neal Morse, but I really love everything I've heard. And so yeah, I do lump him in one category of the Neal Morse category. But it's my list, so I'll do what I want. But yeah, so Neal Morse at number 31. So yeah, this has been a lot longer than I would have thought it would have been. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed. This has been the Album Man. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and as usual, long live rock and roll.